What's going on out there, YouTube? This is SEL0320, back at it again for a brand new review. Sabotage. Nah. I looked at the movie, I looked at two movies this weekend. I looked at Noah, which I did a review for early on today. And actually, now that I think about it, y'all, I might do a more in-depth review. It's gonna be kind of spoiler-filled of Noah, just because I have so many notes for it that I didn't even think about. So I'm gonna do that. But as I was saying, that Sabotage, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Terrence Howard, Sam Worthington, it's all-star cast in general. But this one, it was a very interesting story, and I can't wait to talk about it. To me, I feel like this movie was not necessarily an action movie. It was more of a suspense thriller action interpretation. And I really liked how they did it. Where I think the last few movies that Arnold has gone and done, such as like Expendables 3 or The Last Stand or Escape from Prison, like those movies, like they're kind of action based, you know, but this one, it had more like darkness to it, more feel to it. It was kind of like not on that Terminator level, but it was a more serious of a tone. And I've missed those kind of movies with him. Like True Lies, it had a darkness tone to it, but it had comedy in it. Shoot, not The Last Action Hero, even though I do like that. Shoot, The Eraser. So many different movies that he had made in the early 90s and 80s that had that kind of like dark tone to them that he hasn't done in a while. And for him to be 67 y'all, born in what, 1947, I think? Like, he did a great job in this one, I have to say. Anyway, the movie is about members of an elite DEA task force find themselves being taken down one by one after they rob a drug cartel safe house. Now, that was kind of a misleading synopsis. I'm not going to say why, because I'm not going to spoil the movie, but it's very interesting how the story arc goes. Now, I'll go into the visual effects. Now, I have to say that I did not see at least the first 5 minutes of the movie, which I wish I had. It kind of sucks. I'm gonna have to see it again, but I don't have money. Anyway, with how they did the cinematography, the camera angles, the shots, they were awesome. Especially like the scene that I saw in the beginning, like how they had like the task force just moving and diverting and taking out. It was really awesome. I mean, the action scenes were awesomely shot. I mean, the cinematography was really well done. I felt like even some of the set pieces were kind of like not cliche. They, as like a normal cliche like action movie, like, oh, this person got blown up, oh, that's it, you know, like they were very believable. I mean, when you see like, shoot, a semi-automatic rifle versus like, I mean, what, Claymore set up on a door, or even like, I mean, there's just so many different things they showed that felt realistic, you know. Even from there was a point where they were in the woods and one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's guys was getting attacked. Like, just the strategy behind it, it was really cool. One thing I did have a gripe about was that there were certain points where you saw like a flashback, but you didn't know it was a flashback. Like even that scene that I saw in the woods, like this is what was going on then, and this is what's going on now. But how I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh wow, they got to get to this guy in time before something happens to him. But it's already happened, and I wouldn't know. I mean, I like that, but I don't. I would have rather had it be at least me knowing that this is what's going on, you know. And so that was my only gripe that I had with it. The score was okay. The music score wasn't anything special. It wasn't anything different than what I've heard before. But definitely, I think the cinematography it was worth noting. I really enjoyed the cinematography. So I'd have to give the cinematography probably like an 8 out of 10, especially with all the action scenes. Now, I think that the movie I'm going to go seeing this weekend, which is The Raid 2, With that and how the action shots are done, as far as cinematography wise, like those are on a different kind of level as this. So I can't really compare it. But the way that they did the action shots for this one, as far as with the strat team, as a drill team, like it's very precise. It's very precise. It was very well done. Matter of fact, I might do a review for the Raid Redemption. Interesting. But yeah, like I said, probably have to give it like a 7 or 8 out of 10 as far as cinematography, as far as just the visuals. Now, I'll say this about the actors. The actors in Sabotage did a great job. I thought that, of course, I mean, Terrence Howard in and of itself, like he can just kill a screen. Like he can murder it. He can play the bad guy, he can play the good guy. He's a great actor. He's always quick with it, but at the same time he's got this level of swag with him. He did a good job, man. Who to me stole the show was unrecognizable, honestly, was Sam Worthington. He had this ball cut and this long goatee and just tatted up. Like he was a roughneck, dude. Like I enjoyed his character. I mean, his character didn't have a lot of action scenes in it like you would normally see him in. But the scenes that he was in, like he just lit up the show. Like I wanted to see him like taking out a whole bunch of people, you know, which he does. But I mean, it's not as much as I wanted because every scene he was in, you could see that he had been undercover way too long. You could see that his days or years in deep undercover DA drug lord reconnaissance, like it messed him up, you know. And I mean, to be honest with you, like the other person that stole the show from me, which I have to make sure I remember her name. She played the role of Lizzie, Muriel Enos. If any of y'all have seen, I think The Killing, or if you've seen World War Z or Gangster Squad, she was in all these movies, but she was murking people. Like if any of y'all see the trailer and you see this girl like going and shooting somebody and then jumping out of a window and doing crazy stuff, like that was her. She was the roughneck. And I mean, she lit up the screen. I mean, she did some great work. Like I was like, dang. And I mean, she's also got a darkness to her. I mean, her character had a background of actually substance abuse and prostitution, but yet she is a trained killer. And so it shows all the different kind of levels to her character. But acting wise and the way that she portrayed her roles, I've seen certain people that not necessarily they can flip a switch to a degree, but very unpredictable. She played that role perfectly. I was terrified of her at certain points. Same just like Sam Worthington. And yet I haven't talked about Arnold yet. I'll get to it, I promise. But I have to go through the line. Joe Manganiello from True Blood, from One Tree Hill, from what else he played in? He played in Spider-Man, different roles, man. But I loved his character too, because his character, it felt like the heart and soul of the team. Not even more so than Sylvester Stallone. Not dang. Yeah. I'm sorry, y'all didn't hear that. More so than Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Governor. Like his character was very humbled. There was an interrogation scene where all of them had to confess to some things, and I thought that his confession, or the way that he played the role, like it was very well done. I mean, but at the same time, this dude's huge. He's stacked. I mean, he could have been like an older Superman, to be honest with you. Like he was huge. At any rate, I felt like the way that they did his character was very well done. I mean, other notable actors would be Josh Holloway, Max Martini, Kevin Lance. I mean, it's just so many different people in this one. But I think another one that kind of stood out for me was Olivia Williams, and what's the other black guy from the Matrix movies? What is his name? I forget his name. Crap. I'm gonna find you. Harold Perrineau. they, her character and his character worked hand in hand. Olivia and Harold's character, they worked hand in hand. Her name in the movie was Caroline, and she played an FBI agent that was trying to uncover what was going on. Why is Arnold Schwarzenegger's team getting killed off one by one? And like Harold, he just knows that, or his character's name is Jackson. Jackson knows that Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, John, or what they call him, Breaker, or Breacher, is a legend in the DEA. Like, I mean, he's brought down countless cartels, and I mean, he's like, he sees him as an idol, but the girl's like, he ain't nobody, you know? And I mean, I think her character, she played a very good role of like being put in an uncomfortable situation to understanding like, man, this is a really epic guy or a really epic situation to get me out. Help! Like, I mean, but doing the best you can to keep your composure, keep your professionalism, doing what you can to survive. I mean, she does a really good job. I thought that Olivia Williams did a great job in her portrayal of that character. Arnold, I think that his acting is still, to me, technically the same. He's still the same character that he's always been. But like, he's got a little bit more to work with. I mean, he's got more of an edge to him. His character is very dark, you know? And I mean, he's played roles where like somebody like kind of threatened his family, but nobody has ever showed him like what he would do with any means necessary, like to protect his family, his team. Like, I mean, he's being pushed to the edge, you know? And I mean, we've seen him like maul over guys just for the heck of it. I mean, if you remember Kindergarten Cop, that man didn't get away, you know? But I mean, this one is a different edge to his character, and I thought he played the portrayal very well. Especially, I mean, I have to give him credit because he's 67 years old, but I mean, you think about all the older actors as well. I mean, like Gary Oldman or Michael Caine, I mean, they just are actors, you know? Arnold is an action star, you know? So it's different. But I thought he did a great job for what he had, and I hadn't seen The Last Stand. I haven't looked at that yet. I need to watch that at a certain point. But I know that he does have, he has elevated his acting ability a little bit better. I've seen that, and I mean, with this one, that's another example of it. I thought this was one of his better roles I've seen in the past 5 years, honestly. I would see it again. I mean, I'd probably rent the movie at first and debate whether I wanted to buy it or not. But it was very well done as far as they did his character. And Arnold did a great job with all the action scenes that he was in. He had a great edge to him, but at the same time, he was kind of the leader and the teacher. So he didn't have to do a lot of action, but at the same time, when action counted, he was there, you know. Anyway, so acting-wise, the whole cast outshined Arnold, personally, in my opinion. But it shows that there was a quality they put to the roles to make it a decent story. So I would have to give it maybe like an 8 out of 10 for the acting. I thought the acting was great. All the actors like outdid themselves. Story, I think the story, it could have been a lot better. It's a story that's been done before. It's kind of predictable in the sense of like you got all these DEA agents that are trained, I've been under different countless things with the cartel, and I mean, this one job, it just kind of goes a little sour as far as like them getting like a kickback money wise, and now they're getting killed. You know something's up, you know. But it's an interesting way to show like, man, what would you do in this situation, you know? What would you do if the people around you were dying, but they might be a cause of it, you know? But there's been so many movies like that, I can't necessarily give the story the credits due. I'd probably have to give the story like maybe a 4 or 5 out of 10, just because I've seen it done before, but it fit for the role of these characters. I mean, they built the world, they worked with the script that they were given. They worked with the way the direction of the film went, and which I can understand. And I mean, what added more meat to the story was the interaction with John and Caroline, and and his team, because she was like the rift in between. Like his team was crazy. All of them were nuts. I mean, they've been under way too long. They were dirty as far as I was concerned. But I mean, throwing her like a straight edge and, you know, it kind of switched things up, which I thought was really cool as far as the story is concerned. But it wasn't anything like super special. But I mean, it's definitely worth seeing. The action was definitely worth seeing. The acting, I enjoyed everybody's role. They went into their own, you know. I think the weakest probably out of all of them was Arnold, but I really enjoyed like all of his action scenes, and just the Governor is just awesome anyway. And so I can't wait to see him in Expendables 3 coming up very soon. But yeah, I mean, I'd probably give on average maybe like a 7.5 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10 as far as action movie. As far as a grand scale movie, maybe like a 6.5. Just out of all the movies that are out right now, but definitely a 7.5 of action. I mean, it was really decent. I really enjoyed it. I would definitely go see it again with family or with friends. But yeah, that concludes my review for Sabotage, and I look forward to my review coming up this weekend on. I'm gonna definitely see Captain America, and I'm gonna definitely go see The Raid 2 if I can. I apologize I haven't gotten these videos out sooner. I should have apologized on the last one. I've been super busy. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to looking at The Following, which is a great show. If any of y'all want to see me do reviews on any TV shows y'all might like that I might be watching, like such as The Following or Arrow or Vampire Diaries or Originals or whatever, please list it down below, comments. Let me know what you thought of the review. And also, if you have any thoughts or excitement about new movies that are coming out, I'm here to openly discuss about them. This is SEL020 signing out. Have a good night. Have a good morning. Deuces. I'm going to go seeing this weekend, which is The Raid 2.